I think about the Peloton, and having been a bike racer for almost 20 years and having ridden on some pro teams, a Peloton is actually a means by which to go a little faster if you can stay in the Peloton. But when I was in the Peloton and all the other pro cyclists, it's a place where we kept our teammates safe. And there was always a designated individual on the team who was going to be the person who would be on the podium. And it was my job to keep them safe in the Peloton. So today I thought about that we haven't done a very good job of keeping our kids safe.
You know, they'd love you dead. They'd like you to commit suicide, and that wasn't going to happen. He was going to make his point this way. I mean, this is a dangerous undertaking, and it's shocking that this is what you do have to do to make a point, a 48-year-old man. If I were younger, I'd be hopping on the bike right next to him.
Yeah. So I was actually thrilled when he started riding his bike and started losing weight, because before he did it, he was blowing up. I was really worried about him.
I've seen Dave from high school to where he wasn't at his best shape to where now he's back in pretty good shape. And I said to him, you look like you did back in high school, just now kind of fitter and more jacked up.
He's a different guy. I mean, he seems lighter. You seem taller too, Dave. So it's amazing to watch the transformation and to see he doesn't carry as much weight. He is freeing himself up from really what's had a total grab on him for most of his life since he was a kid.
It's so hard to come out with this stuff until you are in your 40s and 50s. People get divorced over it, people die over it. And I just, no, I want to show that you can overcome this. It's a challenge, obviously. I'm still in this. And I want to bike across the country from Chicago to New York to raise awareness for this epidemic. I mean, it's in everything. It's in the schools, it's in the Catholic Church, it's in gymnastics, it's in youth soccer, it's everywhere. But I'm going to fight this until there are changes.
I think the thing with Dave and the biking, I mean, I totally get it. You know, Dave's story is my story. Dave's story is so many people's stories, men and women. It's that same feeling. It's the same guilt. It's the same feeling alone. It's the same anger.
Which is, to me, what is so awe-inspiring about Dave's ride. It's the individual people that you can communicate with along the way, and those individual stories, and that sum of that, and they have a place within this advocacy movement.
And I want him to meet the many other people. That's where I get my strength. When I come up here and I meet new people, mentally talking to another survivor helps me.
It's kind of like a restart. If you speak up, there's so much more benefits that come from it. You'll feel a weight lifted off your shoulders. You'll feel like nothing can hurt you anymore.
You're riding your bike and you're getting all this sensory stimulus from nature, and you're meeting all these great people across the country. Your heart is open. And when you open yourself to pain, as much as that hurts, you open yourself to joy.
To ride from Chicago all the way to New York for survivors is, I mean, it's beautiful and I really appreciate it. I'm still in the process. I'm still recovering. So it has not been easy for me at all.
To me, it's like a robbery. You know, you get assaulted, but in the process of getting assaulted, they steal your voice. And that's certainly what happened to me as a child.
And this was like his favorite little blanket, the binding wore. And it took me 12 years, 2 weeks ago, to put this back together. So I haven't changed anything in here. You know, I've added things, you know, with the Eagles winning,
right.
And I know he would love that, you know. Yeah.
So this is the nightmare that's on a loop in my head. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of living without my son. I'm tired of going through the holidays without my son. I'm tired of watching my wife and my daughter cry. They don't know what we're suffering. They don't know. And I'm tired of the church using their influence and wealth to prevent justice.
Joe, how are you?
How are you, Bob?
Sorry I'm late.
Good to see you, and we won't yell at you.
We've got crises left tonight. Hey, Dave.
It's nearly impossible for a person to come forward with this story of sexual abuse as a child until they're well into their adulthood. You can't begin to deal with it. In New Jersey, Dave would have had to come before the state of New Jersey civilly by the age of 20. In New York, right now, it's the age of 23. In Pennsylvania, it's similar. I think it's 21, but it's still in the same ballpark. And if you don't come forward by those ages, then you're barred from filing a lawsuit against your perpetrator.
Between Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey, there are bills pending that will make such a significant change and allow for a survivor, for a victim, to have their day in court, to have a chance at justice. There should be no expiration on the crime, because there's no expiration on the memory. There's no expiration on the emotional impact.
Hello, my name is Thomas Williams. I am 15 years old. I am here today to ask for the Senate to come back and vote on Senate Bill 261. As a survivor of childhood sexual assault and abuse and rape, I personally know how important it is to be believed. It took me 2 years of repeated sexual abuse and rapes to finally disclose. So I can see how someone can wait for years to disclose. We all see them as adults, but they were children when this happened. Senators, I ask, will you stand up for these children? This is your chance to show them that they are believed.
I do believe that most senators that block statute of limitations for child sexual rape and assault are protecting institutions, primarily religious institutions, but sometimes YSOs like the Boy Scouts of America. I think that there are people that are in their pockets. And it's insane to have a law that protects the predators from the very voice that was stolen from the victims.
I think Dave is doing a great thing, taking the message of statute of limitations reform and justice for the victims across the states. This isn't just a one-state problem. This is a problem that is national. But right now, the epicenter for creating better justice for child victims is Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. So his timing is perfect.
This ride continues to, and for some people, for the very first time, think about this issue, right? To remind people what's happened and don't forget, and we need justice for victims and survivors, but also that our job is not done. And for those who have never heard about this or thought a lot about it, hopefully now they will.
I've been working on this for a year, okay? And I met Dave, and I saw someone who was fragile and scared and conflicted and troubled, and I still worry about him so much.
Right now, my therapy is excessive biking, hot yoga, resistance training.
I know.
And this, I'll move on to the other stuff. But
I was gonna say, but you know, you gotta go. I know it's a tough one, but like the exercise is the one thing, but the fucking the mental and the head and what's going on inside the head. You know, listen, we'll talk about this a million times because I will say it to you a million times. It's like therapy. Gotta go into fucking therapy. He came forward in 2015. I came forward with my abuse in 2005. So I got 10 years on it. You know, and I'm supposed to be like his mentor through this. I think I'm more worried about him now than I was this past year.
I thought that I processed every part of this abuse, and I did not realize the depth and the layers of how it affected me as a person, and my relationship with my family, and my relationship with my spouse, and my opinion of myself. And ultimately, some things in life, they can't be fixed. You can't ever get over them. You're always going to carry them. But how much of that burden you choose to carry, that's something that you can't manage.
Having been a bike racer for almost 20 years and having ridden on some pro teams, a Peloton is actually a means by which to go a little faster if you can stay in the Peloton. But when I was in the Peloton and all the other pro cyclists, it's a place where we kept our teammates safe. So today I thought about that we haven't done a very good job of keeping our kids safe.
That's what the